verse, I think it's verse 26, has helped a lot of people. So, anyway, let's get going. Let's read in here. Behold, it came to pass that I, Omni, being commanded by my father Jerem, that I should write somewhat upon these plates, to preserve our genealogy. Wherefore, in my days, I would that ye should know that I fought much with the sword, to preserve my people, the Nephites, from falling into the hands of their enemies, the Lamanites. But behold, I of myself am a wicked man, and I have not kept the statutes and the commandments of the Lord as I have ought to have done. And it came to pass that 276 years had passed away, and we had many seasons of peace, and we had many seasons of serious war and bloodshed. Yea, and in fine 282 years had passed away, and I had kept these plates according to the commandments of my fathers, and I conferred them upon my son Amaron, and I make an end. And now I, Amaron, write the things whatsoever I write, which are few, in the book of my father. Behold, it came to pass that 320 years had passed away, and the more wicked part of the Nephites were destroyed. For the Lord would not suffer, after he had led them out of the land of Jerusalem, and kept and preserved them from falling into the hands of their enemies. Yea, he would not suffer that the words should be verified, which he spake unto our fathers, saying that insomuch as he shall not keep my commandments, he shall not prosper in the land. And there it is again. We find that promise all the time. So far there's not much like spiritual content here. It's just kind of like a recalling of his mystery, which is fine. Yeah, which is fine. Verse 7, wherefore the Lord did visit them in great judgment. Nevertheless, he did spare the righteous, that they should not perish, but did deliver them out of the hands of their enemies. And it came to pass that I did deliver the plates unto my brother Chemish. Now I, Chemish, write a few things I write in the same book with my brother, for behold, I saw the last which he wrote, that he wrote it with his own hand, and he wrote it in the day that he delivered them unto me. And after this matter we keep the records, for it is according to my commandment, to the commandment of our fathers, and I make an end. I think this part is funny because it gets passed down between lots of people, and like no one writes anything on it. Because the next verse is, behold, I, Abinadam, am the son of Chemish, and behold, it came to pass that I saw much war and contention between my people, the Nephites and the Lamanites, and I with my own sword have taken the lives of many of the Lamanites in the defense of my brethren. And behold, the record of this people is engraven upon the plates which is had by the kings according to the generations. And I know of no revelation save that which has been written, neither prophecy. Wherefore that is sufficient, that which is sufficient is written, and I make an end. So it gets passed through lots of hands, and I think this one is longer. Verse 12. Behold, I am Amaleki, the son of Abinadam. Behold, I will speak unto you somewhat concerning Mosiah, who hearken unto the voice of the Lord. And they were led by many preachings and prophesyings, and they were admonished continually by the word of the Lord. And they were led by the power of his arm through the wilderness until they came down into Zarahemla, into the land which is called the land of Zarahemla. And they discovered a people who were called the people of Zarahemla. Now there was a great rejoicing among the people of Zarahemla, and also Zarahemla did rejoice exceedingly, because the Lord had sent the people of Mosiah with the plates of brass, which contained the record of the Jews. The Lord had sent the people of Mosiah to the Jews. Behold, it came to pass that Mosiah discovered that the people of Zarahemla came out from Jerusalem at the time that Zedekiah, king of Judah, was carried away captive into Babylon. And they journeyed into the wilderness and were brought by the hand of the Lord across the great waters into the land where Mosiah had discovered them. And they had dwelt there before, from that time forth. And at the time that Mosiah discovered them, they had become exceedingly numerous. Nevertheless, they had many wars and serious contentions, and had fallen by the sword from time to time, and their language had become corrupted. And they had brought no records with them, and they denied the being of their Creator and Mosiah, nor the people of Mosiah could understand them. But it came to pass that Mosiah caused that they should be taught in his language. And it came to pass that after they were taught in the language of Mosiah, Zarahemla gave a genealogy of his fathers according to his memory. And they are written, but not in these plates. And it came to pass that the people of Zarahemla and of Mosiah did unite together, and Mosiah was appointed to be their king. And it came to pass that in the days of Mosiah there was a large stone brought unto him with engravings on it. And he did interpret the engravings by the gift and power of God. And they gave an account of one Coriantumr, and the slain of his people. And Coriantumr was discovered by the people of Zarahemla, and he dwelt with them for the space of 9 moons. It also spake a few words concerning his fathers. And his first parents came out from the tower at the time the Lord confounded the language of his people, and the severity of the Lord fell upon them according to his judgments, which are just. And their bones lay scattered in the land northward. Behold, Amalekah was born in the days of Mosiah, and I have lived to see his death, and Benjamin his son reigned in his stead. And behold, I have seen in the days of King Benjamin a serious war and much bloodshed between the Nephites and the Lamanites. But behold, the Nephites did obtain much advantage over them, yea, insomuch that the King Benjamin did drive them out of the land of Zarahemla. How are we doing here? How are we feeling? A lot of reading. It kind of seems still just like historical recounting. A little bit of name drops, location drops, and kind of just saying this happened a lot. Lots of like wars and lots of bloodshed between the Nephites and Lamanites. Let's see what 25 says though. And it came to pass that I began to be old, and having no seed, and I didn't know they didn't have any kids. Amalekah is writing this, right? Yeah. just man before the Lord. Wherefore I shall deliver up these plates unto him, exhorting all men to come unto God, the Holy One of Israel, and believe in prophesying. And in revelations, and in the ministering of angels, and in the gift of speaking with tongues, and in the gift of interpreting languages, and in all things which are good. For there is nothing which is good save it comes from the Lord, and that which is evil comes from the devil. Okay, now we're getting a little more spiritual here with that verse, and now this verse here too. And now, my beloved brethren, I would that ye should come unto Christ, who is the Holy One of Israel, and partake of his salvation, and the power of his redemption. Yea, come unto him, and offer your whole souls as an offering unto him, and continue in fasting and praying, and endure to the end. And as the Lord liveth, you will be saved. What a great verse. Let me finish it up with this last verse here. And now I would speak to someone concerning a certain number who went up to the wilderness to return to the land of Nephi, for there was a large number who were desirous to possess the land of their inheritance. Oh, what? I guess that's not the last verse. I guess all I wanted to say really quick about verse 26 is I think that the Lord works like that sometimes, where it's not that there's no substance in the previous verses, but it's just interesting that like the verses that are written before then are kind of just not about things of the Spirit as much. They're just more historical. And then out of nowhere, there's this verse that's like all spiritual, and it's like super strongly written with strong language, like offer your whole souls unto Christ. Like, I think that sometimes the stark immediate change in like writing, the Lord was like aware of that and kind of did that on purpose so that that one stands out a little more, so that he knows, like, so we know like what we should really be focusing on. I don't know, it just gives us a little bit more attention when verses are written like starkly different from the preceding verses. But that verse I read at many doorsteps in Michigan. And it's a great verse. Okay, it looks like it goes to 30. So I'm going to read 28, 29, and 30. Wherefore they went up into the wilderness, and their leader being a strong and mighty man and a stiff-necked man, wherefore he caused a contention among them, and they were all slain, save 50 in the wilderness, and they returned again into the land of Zerah. And it came to pass that they also took others to a considerable number, and took their journey again into the wilderness. And I, Amaleki, had a brother who also went with them. I have not since known concerning them. And I am about to lie down in my grave, and these plates are full, and I make an end of my speaking. Awesome. Okay. So, that was the end of the small plates. I can't remember if what we just read are the small plates or the large plates, but the next chapter is Words of Mormon, where he kind of interjects and says, like, this is many hundred years after the coming of Christ, and like this is like me right before I bury the plates. So that's going to be interesting to read next time, but I believe, I'm not sure why the Words of Mormon are in the middle, maybe to just separate the large and big plates, but I know Alma's coming up here the Spirit to some degrees.